Right. Let's get going. Let's add. Let's let everybody know. Hey, how's it going? How is it going? Go away. I'm going to get to it in a second. Do what we normally do. We're going to start that in a minute. We'll go through everything. Yeah, we'll have a look. We'll have a look. Okay. So weekly. I've got slow mode on. Can I change slow mode? Slow mode is on. I'm not sure I know how to change it. Just going to have to deal with it for a meantime. Right, let's get into it. So, we've currently taken the previous weekly high, right? So that gives us some strength in this week finishing above the week, right? So above here. So on Q yesterday, we came and filled the gap, right? that we had on Monday. So the Q has just, where we opened here, might just come down a little bit lower, possibly. Where it was wicked, right? But it's not a traditional gap. But right now we are below the 4 hour and looking bearish in terms of where we might go on the Q. So, higher time frames are end of the week potentially bullish. Today, obviously coming down off of this large move down yesterday, we've just been in this corrective phase. If you can see here, this has just been one long push down, and very often we will correct back up into our last leg, right? So here's our last sort of leg high. If we were to go bullish, potentially we could look to retest the previous Q. Right now, I'm interested to see whether we break the current low for the week, right? At which case, then that would also give us a statistic to say that this is our weekly high. So that'd be interesting. Our 4 hour is above the Q. So this is our previous 4 hour. We've come down into the daily, come back above, come below, and then we've now taken the current low. However, the previous 4 hour, this is currently an inside bar, right? So this was our previous 4 hour low, our previous 4 hour high, and right now it is a inside bar. So we've just traded inside of it. As it currently stands, we expect New York to take this low. Let's pull it out. It's not been that good this week on the probability. It's been playing out beautifully sort of the last couple of weeks, but it's been a little bit lower. Hey Peter, morning all. So what could be quite nice is a rejection off of here. Potentially could play a short like this. Down to the low. Or obviously we could look for a rejection, a entry with a bearish golden candle, and look to take that trade down, which might look something like that, right? From a bullish point of view, we want to get above the Q, right? So if we can come back above the Q, back above this 4 hour, then we can look for some bullish trades and continuations, and we've got potential levels above, right? If we put on our important levels, let's see what we've got. So we've got our London low. We see we swept Asia here, right? And then add that return. So we've got London low here as well. Previous hour high, current daily high, right? So Asia high has already been taken. So this will be London high as well. So we've got London high, London low, previous 4 hour, both the same levels. Previous hourly high, current hourly low. The previous hour did take the low of the previous hour, so we have been in a bearish trend. If I make this bigger, this is currently the hourly candles, so you can see we've just been that very much corrective in that stage, right? We're below the 50. Right, so we've been rejecting on the hourly. So this looks like a could carry on further down. So I think right now, I think an attack of this low is definitely probable, right? This is our current statistic low. But we are having a bit of a retracement in the other way. So New York recently, we've had very much where we've gone on pumps in one direction, right? And then reversed in the other way. Today's the first day where we've been range bound, right? So we're below the daily, above the daily, below the daily, above the daily. You can see the weekly level here has been the point at which price has been held up on. So we could see another tack of these lows, possibly down for these. This being our most probable, right? During New York. We've still got 20 minutes for price to move, so it could change by the time we get to New York. Let's have a look at CL. Okay, so the CL is above the daily, above the Q. We're in quite a bullish trend, right? CL has been on quite a bullish trend. So right now, you know, we would expect the hourly to have some sort of retracement back up. Even potentially could get a bearish golden candle, then a bullish golden candle, which would make a really, really good long. Haven't yet taken this high, so could be a point where CL comes up a little bit higher, but we're definitely starting off that retracement on the way up. So right now on CL, it's looking pretty bullish. However, let's just check. Yeah, so we've taken the previous daily high already, right? So statistically, we expect today to close above the daily, so to be bullish. Right now, we are bearish on the lower time frame, so nothing to say that we are going to go long, but just as it currently stands. For CL to switch bearish for me, we'd want to go below the daily, right? So we've got Asia lows, come below this daily, and what we've got is a load of space between here and here, right? So this is sort of 35 ticks. So we might be able to get a trade in there and trade down. That would be where I'd be looking to trade. Alternatively, again, we'd want to be trading up and away with CL. A lot more bullish on gold. Look at that. Beautiful tap of the daily. And then it is just gone. It's been in this range above this previous 4 hour. You can see this level. Once we got above it, we had rejection once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So it's an area to definitely watch out for. If we get down around there, you'd want to see price clearly come away. But gold is looking really bullish and looking good in terms of continuations. It's had a little bit of a retracement. We could get above the 4 hour and carry on that process, right? Really easy. We know what we're looking for, right? We know what we're looking for. We've got bullish volume on the 5 minute. We can get back above, have a bit of retracement and get a bullish golden candle. We can look to go ES is range bound as well, just like NASDAQ. A little bit more bullish than NASDAQ. Obviously, here's our daily right smack bang in the middle. We've been below, above, and we're inside the current week as well, right? So this is the current previous week. The current week. So where we started off bullish. Yeah, we have just taken the previous weekly high. So again, we'd expect ES to close above this weekly level. Pretty messy at the moment. The only thing is they're pretty good swings, right? So although it's fairly range bound, they are swinging pretty well until we got to here. Again, same thing with ES. We've had this large push down, so potentially we might see a push up to the previous Q, lining up here, then a rejection. But it does look very corrective, and when we start in these corrective patterns, you've been with me and seen this many times, that potentially we can expect corrective and then continuation on down, even if it's just for a quick sweep of this low rather than a whole lot of continuation. To go bullish, I think we just want to we could trade bullish up to this level. If we can break above and hold it, then potentially we can see a continuation out of it. ES, NQ could quite easily just rock on bullish. We are expecting a bullish finish to the year. So corrective phase, the correction could be over. We have obviously filled that gap from yesterday. Should I say Monday's gap? How's everyone done today with the price action? I'm guessing obviously if you're able to trade Asia on gold, you've had a good day. So just to recap, what we're looking for is ideally on our A+ setups, right? So an A+ setup to the upside will be when we are above this level here. We're above the daily, above the 1 hour, above the 4 hour. Everything's aligned, all the higher time frames. Price action, 1 minute and 5 minute align. We get a bullish golden candle. Nice one, Peter. Base hits, tick along. 10 a.m. We've obviously got half an hour until 10 a.m. That's our new 4 hour candle. Like I said, this week, this statistic in the last sort of 4 or 5 days hasn't been playing out brilliantly. I'll show you the stats on it. Just hide that for now. So when we've had a short setup, it's played out 9 out of 9. So just to recap this 4 hour candle that we're talking about here, this is the open of the 4 hour, right? So we went bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, and now we are coming to the last half an hour. Each segment represents half an hour, right? And it is showing that if this 4 hour candle closed bearish, what happened when it closed bearish? Well, of the last 9 bearish 4 hour candles, this 4 hour candle, the 6 a.m. 4 hour candle, 9 out of 9 times, 100% of the time, we put in the low. And from a bullish side, that 5 out of the 8, so 63% of the time, we put in the high. So we saw that a couple of times. I think we saw it on Thursday last week, and yesterday, where we had that drop, right? Oh, it wasn't yesterday's drop. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before. Here, look, you can see, look, we're bullish, right? We fail to take the high, and then we have that massive drop down. Here, right? We come down and take the lows. Same thing here, right? We have a bearish hour. New York opens, and we literally just get that low before the end of the half an hour, right? So back up to our Q, back up to our 4 hour. No tea this week, just me. On my own. I have updated the video, some of the videos, and the live recording went out this morning. If you've not received it, the A+ setup video is in WAP, and the settings video as well for the latest update, right? I think everybody can see, obviously, one of the best improvements that we've made in the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. Certainly the last update. There's the signals having that additional filters and not having to look for it. Signals are pretty fire. You can see here is a winning signal, winning signal, winning signal. This is pretty much to the tick in terms of if you were right on 1 tick below, then you got taken out. And this is a loss as well. So a couple of losses here, potentially, depending on how much room you gave it below the entry candle. You might have been just all right. But other than that, it's been some decent signals. And same thing this morning. Some decent signals this morning as well. So even though it's been quite choppy in sort of volatile one low to the next high, it's still been able to generate some entries for you. Okay, so we've been and swept previous hour high, which is interesting. And we're now coming above the Q. So as we now come above and taking the high, and we are 10 minutes away, the probability now changes, right? So as long as we come back down, then the probability will come more down to this level. However, if we come above, then the probability sits at the top. The fact that we've taken this high isn't good for this statistic anyway. Because, oh, sorry, no, for the 4 hour, it doesn't really matter. Sorry, here's our 4 hour high. I was just looking at the hour. So our 4 hour high here, there's high probability of this being our 4 hour high and low probability of this being our 4 hour low, right? So we have a look at that in the stats again. So this is the, we put it into hours rather than half an hour, make it easier just to see. So this is the 3rd hour, right? So we've just had our low put in. So say, for example, this was going to be a bullish candle. If we go up time frames, the last 111 bullish candles, you can see that only 12% of the time the low was put in during that hour. So it's one of the lowest hours for it to be our low. So right now we've got our high in the first hour, which is, you can see, much more probable. So not impossible, but 111 bullish candles, only 13 times was the low then. Yeah, I don't need to show you an example. It will come up on the chart every time the golden candle comes. It will show you a good place to put your stop loss. There you go. So, for example, this golden candle here, you can see below the low of the candle, right there. That's the tightest stop that we would recommend. Right, so for example, this bearish one now, you can see stop loss just below the candle. And then for, you know, people who trade alpha zones, you can see you've got your 4 hour there, so you might just put it above your 4 hour or above this high, but this is the tightest that we would recommend it. Right, and then here's your take profit levels. So this is your high probability zone. This is your base hit zone, basically. If you want to trade high win rate, just take your base hits. This is where you take your base hits. Right now, though, this is not a setup. You can see that our 5 minute is bullish, price action's bullish. For us to trade, we ideally want to be trading, well, not ideally, we want to be trading with the direction of the market. And as you can see, we are not bearish in giving us that trade. No worries. So you can see it's 29 ticks to your stop loss. Latest update is the trade calculator. So we can see right now for MNQ, if you were to take that trade to risk 500, you want to go with 33 contracts. So this automatically updates as the golden candles form, right? So this is a, you know, I don't trade before this close to New York, but we've got bullish volume on the 5 minute, bullish volume on the 1 minute. Everything's stepping up. This would be a trade that normally we would take, right? So we would set our stop order above the candle, and then we would look for, you can see we've got this high here, so potentially we might push for that high, or we've got our high probability zone where we can look to take profit, right? Let's just check where we're closed yesterday to where we are. Right, so we... So this is our current gap. Okay. Morning. So just to recap, Q hasn't got a gap, but NQ has, right? So the Q is also above its 4 hour now as well. So the Q doesn't have a gap. Obviously, it filled its gap yesterday from that short to the tick. We've seen that a couple of times now, right? Same thing here. Q opens, New York came and filled that gap. And then yesterday, I mean, obviously on Monday, we opened with the gap, right? We didn't fill it. And then yesterday, bang, all the way down, perfect fill. So we are bullish. This is our 4-hour high. So like I said, by the time New York opens, we need to see where price is at that time. It's a little bit more difficult today in terms of judging direction. Like I said, this is the least likely high and low data. So this is more likely to be a high than this is likely to be a low. With the way price has been, maybe we'll get a double sweep, right? Yo! Our 1 hour is still in its zone. Fuck's that? Go away. Still trading inside its sort of corrective phase. So this has been our 1 hour chop. So although obviously on the 1 minute looks pretty straight, right, on an hourly chart, this has just been pretty up and down. Right. There's our hourly. Had our big push down. So as you know, I call this a corrective phase. So this is a corrective phase of a bearish move. Doesn't mean that we're going to have to go bearish. It just means that we've had this big strong move down and price is struggling, even though it's moving bullish. It's moving bullish in a not as a straight move, right? In a more slow way, which often means that like buyers get exhausted, sellers take back over again, and then bam, we can carry on down. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at in terms of overall. As you know, I focus on trading entry, like when everything aligns, so we can have a bias in terms of, oh, this looks like this could happen, but until we get bearish, and a golden candle, we sit out of it. So here's New York. Pretty indecisive first minute. Strong close at the top. If you look at the dots, you can already see that we've been just before New York, just expanding out. There you go. Okay, so the high has gone. So London high. See if we're going to carry on. Yeah, it's in Sure it's on in the Discord. I created a template. I can repost it again. It's not a problem. It might have been, to be fair, it might have been removed when we cleaned up the Discord, so possibly. Yeah, this ain't the copy. I'll have a look. These are target prices based on a golden candle entry. The dots are the actual close. These are actual price targets. So you can see here, look, we had a buy signal and a bullish golden candle. And these are your price targets. The current setup, I'd probably say you want to use sort of lower time frames, 1, 2, 3 minute chart. There's a swing trade version coming out, as well as I will do a sort of 5, 15 minute chart system as well. Basically, it works on any time frame. You're just looking to do to follow the same process that you do on the lower time frames. Only focusing on focusing obviously on the higher time frame setups, in terms of like you wouldn't use the 1 minute and 5 minute, but those will be future updates. I'm not sure. Don't know. Just depends, because obviously with that comes all the additional content and all the additional work that we've got to do on creating the system and the setup for how you would use it, because as soon as I publish it, that's what everyone's going to ask. So I'm not sure whether it'll be built into the current price, just because obviously at the moment we've kept it pretty cheap as it is now. It certainly won't be a subscription if it is an add-on. There's news later on today, isn't there? There's an FOM speaker later on, if I'm right in thinking. All the higher time frames are currently stacked upwards. Just a little bit early for me, and because we swept London high, is why I didn't take that trade. Just obviously at some point, sometimes after taking a high like London, we can have a bit of a retracement, which was just unfortunate with at the timing, obviously, of all that happening. It's just one of them, right? Still looks very possible to come up to here. We spoke about that before with regards to the drop, right? We've had this large drop. We could expect a retracement back up to this sort of area and then potentially reject. Just want to see how CL did. We're back at the daily with CL. Yeah, so we're back to the daily with CL. And then come out of the daily. So obviously, like we said with CL, you'd want to see it come below the daily, ideally. 10 AM is going to be an interesting one. We've got a very strong bullish trend, so I wouldn't be surprised now if this does go straight on up. All right. See if we can get. So what we want to see now is a confirmation of bearish golden candle, push back in, and then a reversal, bullish golden candle, and then potentially we can look to take a trade up into this area. This is kind of where... So if we were to reject, this is kind of where I would expect us to reject from, this sort of top area inside that sort of zone. That would be my expectation in terms of what we would do. So as you can see now, look, everything is bullish, right? So price action, 5-minute buyers, 15-minute buyers, 1-hour buyers, currently bullish, which is why we're not shorting, even though a lot of these play out, right? You can see this would be our sort of first area. Volumes dropped quite a bit as well. But 1R is 12 points. There we go, into our high probability. Trader 99, everything's in the course. Let's see what we can do. So we're about to get a golden candle. 1 minute's not ideal. 5-minute is still bullish. 15's bullish, but hasn't yet confirmed. So we wait. Okay. I like that. Five points. Fucking tiny at the moment. $159. $42. Getting a buy signal as well. So first, just got in our first TP on the golden candle. And there we go, TP hit. Straightforward, very simple. Waited for the high probability and done. Right. Bish bash bosh. This is my potential reversal zone, right? So we are tapping up to the queue, so you need to be really careful around the previous queue. We need to be really careful around this. However, you know, could push up, still hit our 1R, but the golden candle was fine. It was really nice. See this sort of U shape where we get these. We love them. 5 minute was aligned, 15 minute was aligned. I mean, look at all the time frames, right? You've got a green Christmas tree. Let's go. And this is what you're waiting for. This is your high probability setup, right? Above the queue, above the 1 hour, above the 4 hour. It is A tier, yeah. Because the only thing that was missing was the 1 minute, right? It was just coming back under. That was the only thing. But then for the golden candle, you know, look how strong the 5 minute is. Really nice. Everything else got 1 hour and 15 minute buys behind it. It is an A tier setup, and I love that U shape, right? So 50, 200, 4 hour, daily, 1 hour. What did I say when we first started? A plus setups, we want to be above the 1 hour, above the 4 hour, above the daily, above the queue. That's how we want to take it, right? This one was just because we swept London. Otherwise, we'd have taken this one. We waited. We got our pullback, got our confirmation. We had space, right? We got space to trade it. And there you go, 20 points to the queue, which we are currently having a little fight with. But I still think we could just push up through. But yeah. A plus setup. Or A setup. Very, very close to an A plus. Cleanest one we've had this week on stream, though, right? Cleanest one we've had on stream during the lives. Nice rejection off the queue. All right, this is why we have the levels on the chart, right? I'm going to use in the last two. Okay. I'm going to use in the last two. It's yesterday's. Remember what we said, if we come above this queue, potentially we could come back here. So, I mean, this isn't a bad, like, if you were going to look for a longer trade, more R, this is a pretty good short, right? To potentially come back all the way to the daily. However, these are not the trades that we push, right? We don't push this because the win rate is much lower, right? So you've got to understand that you're playing for bigger trades. But this, having those rejections, it's a shame that, I mean, obviously you could wait for a bearish golden candle and then look to take the trade potentially down. Alternatively, like I said, we've had this big push down, right? This is the previous high. The weekly is expected to be bullish. We've had this corrective price action and we've had this strong push out. Now, this goal, this filled the Q gap. The Q gap was filled. It filled it to a tick, right to the weekly as well. So it's not necessarily that price was switching bearish and everything was going on down, right? Very often you'll see this with NQ. We'll have this down, which then immediately from a structure point of view, it's like, right, we're bearish, that's it. And then potentially it can just come flying out and carry on bullish for all-time highs. It can do it. It's putting up a fight. right? It's only four ticks wide, but it's putting up a fight. Let's have a little browse. So we've got a bearish golden candle. We'll see. Let's check gold. Yeah, so gold came up to the 4 hour, swept the 4 hour high, came back below the 1 hour, and then has come and taken out the lows. Yeah, Q levels. Just if you go on the videos on the WOP, go into all the different levels on the course. Go into detail about the alpha zones, understanding how they work, why you're using them, alignments, and all that sort of thing. So still very bullish on gold. Obviously the daily's all the way down here. So we could still retrace a lot more, and the daily we still close bullish, but yeah. ES still within its sort of sideways range. So ES has taken the high, taken the low. It's just stuck inside this range. Remember, we're inside this weekly. It's just daily, just a bit of mesh, right? So if we want to trade ES, we want it to get out of this. Whenever you see it's like, can't really see what's going on, well, that means that price is in a shithole. Wait for it to leave the shithole and then trade it, right? Simple as that. When it's out here, clearly breaking below, we can trade it. When it's up here, clearly trading above, we can trade it. While it's sat inside of here, leave it. Leave the fuck it alone. So YM did what we were kind of talking about in that corrective phase, right? So we've had this big push down, although it was more bullish in how it came back. And we're also below the weekly on YM, right? So we're above the weekly on ES and NQ, but we're below the weekly on YS. So YS is more bearish, and you can see there, look, YS, bang. So I would expect YS to continue on down and take this low. Could get a sell signal once we get bearish volume aligned on YS as well. You can see that was the bearish golden candle under here, which has hit target. Again, not a bad one, right? You're coming off the daily, you're coming below the Q, you've closed below it. Everything's bearish on the higher time frames, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, everything's pointing down. It's not a bad trade, and you can see we've already hit our golden pocket, and it looks like we're about to hit 1R. Again, for the current low, yeah, could push that on YM. NQ's pushing up. So we never ever got that bearish confirmation of the golden candle, right? We never got a bearish golden candle, which is why they are so good at helping you confirm, like reverse when price is coming into a bearish state. And it's just identifying like the balance between buyers and sellers, right? When we get a bearish golden candle, it just means that right now bearish sellers have just stepped in. And then when we see our bullish one, we can say, okay, right, bullish sellers are now stepped back in, but we've been in an overall higher uptrend, and therefore everything's aligning, and away we go. All right, and you can see the run from here, even from this one as well, right? This has hit its target. So if you'd have taken this buy signal, right, then your entry is up here, your stop is below, and you can see you've just come into your golden pocket on the buy signal. This was the zone I was looking at that potentially where was looking at a sort of max. That's now got to. So we'll just use our zone now. So if we're going to go bearish, we're going to come back below it, right? And then come back down. If we're going to stay bullish, then we're going to stay above. CL's looking good. Hate trading into the daily, right? We got Asia low below. Could get a bearish signal soon. There's our bearish signal. Five minute, 1 minute. Even our Owlie's putting in a bearish golden candle. Price action, all three are aligned. It is just that we're just getting towards that daily, but there is room for us to take the trade and hit into our target. So you can see here, entry would be 6,220. Right? And then first target would be 6,216 if you would do it. Your stop would sit here at 6,280. Sorry, 6,228. So the beauty of this is the same thing with this signal here when it swept those lows, right? We aren't in that trade until price pushes through, okay? So for us to be able to get taken in on this trade, it's got to come through, which means that price has to continue on bearish. If it flips now and goes bullish and comes back above, then no loss, no worry. It's the beauty of the signals. See what it wants to do. See, we've got this Asia low here, 6,208. So new 4 hour. Also one to be careful of. Very often when we get a new 4 hour, price can just switch. Right, complete different direction. There we go. See how far it's going to go. So if CL can get back above the Q, this is the daily, so you can see where we've been holding, just wicked down into it, and now we're having a reaction back out of it again. We can wait on CL, see if we come above. NQ still rocking. So new 4 hour on NQ. Yeah. Right, let's see if it's now going to, now it's done it, sort of push up, if we're going to break the lows and come through. So we're getting a bearish golden candle. I left the heater in the room and I'm like, you know, you're thinking about something else and it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. All right, let's see if we can get it. Target ends up with Asia. Other way around, Andy. So yeah, I'd be place a stop order. Normally I would like to hold this a little bit longer, potentially leave a runner, but we've been so bullish today on CL that, you know, I'd really want to see it come below the daily if it's going to do anything like that. All I'm looking at here is we've got these lows that haven't been swept. We can see Asia hasn't been swept. That if we are going to go bearish, that these are where our high probability price target is, lines up with these lows. So obviously, like, this one's going to be break even, and then hopefully we can just push. We're going to push through. It's one quick push through both levels. This is our 4 hour candle. It looks like it's probably going to hold the daily here and potentially move, but that's fine. It's a big indication if we don't come for these lows that CL wants to go back bullish if we can get back above. Volume's starting to drop off. See on the 1 minute, and the volume's dropping off now. No, the golden candles right now I've got them set to print just every golden candle. If I want to change that, then I just go in my settings and filter candles by all of these things. But it's not recommended to do that with your golden candle, right? It's recommended to your buy and sell signals are filtered already for that for you. Leave your golden candles. But if you want to, you do that for alerts, right? So you can add it on and then set your alerts up. All right, so that trade's now off. In terms of, obviously, look, we haven't come through, so we're holding the daily and coming back above. So take that trade off. Wait for this to now come back above. NQ has just trooped all the way. So see if ES has come out of its area as well. Okay, good. So there you go. When volume kicked in and we had our 5-minute buyers and our 1-minute buyers, you can see that obviously there we had a golden candle, we had our buy signal, and from that, that's been the rocket out. What we would want to see on ES is, we want to see price have a little bit of a pullback, give us a bearish golden candle with a quick concession, get another bullish one again, and we've got targets above, right? We've got a 4-hour high here, and New York high and previous day high sat above. So let's just set an alert up for that. Oh. We want a bearish golden candle. Only one it wants. All right, we're going to get alerted when that changes. NQ is still trooping. It's absolutely trooping. So from where we entered on that signal there, we're already 70 points up. Crazy, crazy, crazy. $5.15, 1 hour, all bullish. We've got our same thing, right? Previous day high, New York high. We had an inside bar today, right? So we haven't taken any highs or lows yet, so it could quite easily come for the previous day high. Remember, the goal of yesterday was filling the Q gap, right? This was the Q gap. So we went bearish in that aggressive, which we've seen a few times, right? Look at the precision on that gap fill. Okay. You can clearly see the gap, right? There's the gap fill to the tick. Right, and then from there, we've gone. So this move down, potentially in terms of, price is now going bearish, not necessarily, it's more of potentially a fill of the gap, right? And then objective secured, we can carry on bullish. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do all-time highs today. Bear me a second, I'll just take this. Sorry about that, it's my door. So all-time highs today. Let's see. All right, we're starting that pullback. See if we get a bearish golden candle. Okay, so on this trade, let's look to go a little lighter, right? So let's say 200 on the trade. Right, so this will now update our calculator to be 200. Should do. I'll change it to risk percentage 2, yes. Account size, yes. Do I want to use symbol tick? No, I don't, do I? I want to use MNQ. Yeah, that's fine. Just make the table a little bigger for you, in case you can't see. So as you can see right now, our 1 hour is bullish. We've got our 15-minute signal bullish. We've got our 5-minute bullish. Our current price action is bullish. We've got another 45 minutes until we get another hour. So nice and early in the stage. We're getting a bearish golden candle now. You can see it's calculating the tick size of your stop loss. So right now, if you wanted to take that short, you'd need 7 contracts on MNQ to risk 200. What we want to see is a potentially like a retest of the alpha zone. So look, we've broke above our 4 hour, retest our 4 hour, bullish golden candle, entry above, right? Then we'll have our high probability zone and then potential runners. Or obviously we could play for the whole move. All right, we've confirmed. I'll put on the relaxing music today. Didn't want to go anything too heavy for the stream. So what is who's? I mean, obviously we've got quite a lot of guys that come from Golden Candle. Just put if you currently have Golden Candle, if you currently have the indicator, Alpha Zone indicator, just stick a Y in the chat for us. Let's see how many people here are users, and put a no in the chat or an N in the chat if you're currently not a user. No, is that a no? Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, welcome. Couple of new guys, or new people, should I say, sorry. Welcome. Now we've kind of got the first part out of the way of the stream. Can I have a little bit more time to talk about questions, cover a few topics, or a bit of help with what you need. We had one about the levels, right? Our Q levels. So they just represent the Q. How you get this on your chart is go to TradingView, just search QQQ. You can see there it's a ETF fund for NASDAQ, right? Just copy that in Google, go and read about it. I don't live trade London in Discord. Usually because during that time we are trying to catch up with obviously the work that we do on improving the indicators, putting out more content, updating PDFs. So we try to use a lot of the day, most of the day is used doing that sort of stuff. And then what we do is we just set up our alerts. So while we're working on that, we may get an alert for, like a sell signal, buy signal, and then we'll jump on, try and trade that, or golden candle, right? So that's normally how our day goes. I'm not adverse to trade in London in terms of coming on doing it. It's not a problem. We just do the same thing, right? So if we're going to trade London, we're going to do the same thing. Very probable for us to come back to this 4 hour. I would prefer us to come back to the 4 hour before we continue on to ES. You can see we got that alert, right? It's just popped up. So right now we are currently confirming our bearish golden candle on ES. Instruments that are good for London. Do you know what it is? Do you know what I'll say is like when it aligns, and it pretty doesn't matter what instrument you're on or what time you're on. What matters more is where are you in location to the zones? Are you above all of them or are you inside in a range? So what does your current price look like? Because when all of this aligns, a lot of it plays out, right? But CL, gold, Asia. Gold in Asia can be really, really good. But yeah, London again can be good on all. I like CL as much as obviously a lot of people trade gold. I am more of a CL and NQ. That's probably more where I go. NQ, CL. But like we can trade anything. Right, there's our last buy signal on 6E, so Euro USD, right? You can see that got tagged in, bang, TP hit. And then we've had no signals. We've been sat on this Q level, right? There's a sell signal, that hit TP. There's a buy signal, that hit TP, right? Where did our Q start? So here. CL. So like this, right? Trading into the daily is just not ideal, right? That's definitely one that we say that is not A+. Don't be doing it. Wait for a break below, ideally. Here, when we get back above the Q, this is fine, right? So look at this buy signal. You've got a golden candle and a buy signal all on the same thing. This is your A+. You're above the Q, above the 1 hour, above the 4 hour. Bullish golden candle, bullish buy signal. Everything is aligned, right? Bang. TP done. TP done. And I think what everybody's experiencing now with golden candle is yep, 100%. So that alert, if you go into your alerts, we created so early bullish buyers and early bearish buyers. What that means is the 1 minute and the 5 minute aligned. Right? So you just set up those alerts and you'll get an alert when price action and 5 minute align. So when those two align, you can then be at the charts waiting to see if you get a golden candle and everything else aligns in the direction. So yeah, you can add that alert on, right? So you got your buy signals, which have got their own filters. You can also create filters in your own. So for example, if I wanted to, we spoke about this on the live the other day, right? So if I wanted to filter my golden candles, I could filter my golden candles, then set up an alert based on those golden candles, then go back into my settings and remove the filters so I don't see them on my chart, but my alerts are going to be based on that filter, right? So for example, if I wanted to filter my golden candles by, okay, well, I only want to see a golden candle when 5-minute buyers are aligned, right? So I tick that on, and then you'll see all my golden candles. See that bearish one's now gone, right? Because the 5-minute buyers weren't aligned, right? So it's gone. This one is. So then I can create my alert and create a golden candle alert, and I'll only get a golden candle alerted when the 5-minute buyers are aligned. Right? And I could add on price action as well and do the same thing. Okay? So you can filter like that as well. So we wanted to retest the 4-hour. I said I'd prefer to come back into the 4-hour before getting our continuation. It's been a little bit heavier than what I would have liked. You can see the size of our 1 minute now has come right down. Shorts are going to be really easy, right? We're going to go short. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to come below the 4-hour, below this zone where we held here. 5 minutes going to go bearish, 1 minute's going to go bearish, and then you're going to get a sell signal. And guess where we've got? We've got our back to our queue, right? We're back in space, right? We're back in space. We've got space between things for us to be able to trade. However, our 15-minute and our 1 hour is still bullish. So feel like right now we can expect to carry on up. What we do have is a statistical probability of the high going. So for any of your new people that have joined, I'm going to show you this now. Okay, so inside Alpha Zones Pro, scroll down to the bottom, and where it says Dynamic Mid Tracker, click on that, put it to 1 hour and end 20-minute. Don't show historic boxes. You can if you want, but I've got it ticked off. Right, so what you can see here is that price closed above the 50% point at this level. When price does that, it gives a higher statistical probability that we are going to go on and take the high. Okay? Now, when price is aligning bullish, in terms of, like, you can see the alpha zones at the bottom here, these are a great one to take long, right? So look, we're getting a bullish confirmation nearly. So statistically, there's a 70% probability that price is going to come take this high. Right? That's how you turn it on. Every hour, it'll show that for you. Okay? And if you want to see historic ones, you can turn it on. Just click on historic. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Let's just see how this goes. So the 1 minute is so heavy on volume, right? So heavy on volume. We've got everything coming below. It's not nice on the 1 minute. So this is not an A+ setup. It's probably more like a B-, because it's more pushing on the fact of the probability. The 5-minute volume's now gone. 5 minutes stepping down. You haven't got any of these aligned. However, we've come out of our alpha zone. Statistical probability of taking the high. The 15-minute and the 1 hour are aligned. We're getting a bullish golden candle. It's not a bad trade, right? It's not a bad trade. Yeah, that's right, yeah. And for this trade, you know, it's almost 2R from a risk point. I don't like it because of the size of the 1 minute in terms of the volume. And again, it's just a trade that I don't need to take. What I've really wanted to kind of push is a reduction in potential entries, so that you're focused on waiting for the specific setup that you're looking for, right? This is a good setup. We were waiting for this bullish golden candle. We just didn't want to see price retrace that heavy. However, from a correction point of view, this is still good, right? Back into the 4 hour. There's nothing wrong with this entry. Things have flipped bullish. When I say there's nothing wrong with it, there's nothing wrong with it in terms of it's got confluence to go higher, right? It's just not, if you're looking for that extra sort of confirmation, it doesn't fit that narrative. But it fits a lot of other narratives. So here on that golden candle, here's your base hits, right? $10 points is 1R. I think this is, see this high here? I think if we were going to reverse, we'd probably come for this high anyway. So I would be looking to kind of push for 1R and push for that sort of high. Remember, statistical probability is this high. So, you know, there's plenty of room. There we go. Bish bash bosh. See how easy that is? Just wait. If you miss this, right, no problem. What is also going to happen is when everything does align, right? When everything does align, you'll get a buy signal. The size of the bearish volume on the 1 minute is just what put me off, right? Exactly. There's some nice confluence, and I think when you've been trading alpha zones long enough, you'd look at that and go, all right, you know, there's quite a bit of confluence to it. However, that's my target, this high. Even though the statistical probability is here, doesn't matter. We can make our profit from this high. Now, because I don't like the 1 minute, then potentially what I would expect is if we were going to go bearish, is that maybe this is our pullback. We come back up. We fail to take the high, right? And then we come back bearish again, right? But often we'll sweep an internal high for that reversal. And it just fitted beautifully inside your high probability target, right? Oh, okay, where can I target? Oh, we've got this lovely high. Bang. What did I just delete? Nothing for me on CL now. ES has taken the high. Looks like it's running for this. Isn't the slope over the histogram? I would say what's more important is the volume right now. Like the in terms of whether we're in bullish or bearish volume, right? I think that's more important. And is volume increasing or decreasing? So we can see here, look, volume increasing, right? First increase, second increase, third increase, fourth increase. Volume is increasing. Rather than volume is decreasing, right? See if NQ's caught up yet. The size of the histogram is important to me. Like how much volume was in it, right? So you can see, look at the size of the bearish 1 minute. It was a big push. Wasn't like these little ones here, right? That was a big push. So when we're having all of this retracement back, it's very rare that we have this retracement back without some sort of pullback or some sort of correction before a continuation when it's this thick. But again, you don't need to read it like that, right? You just need to know you didn't have everything you needed aligning for this trade, therefore you weren't taking it. Okay? You did not have everything aligning. Was there reason to take it? Yes. When you become a little bit more advanced, or when you understand a little bit more, then yeah, you can take those trades, right? But if you're waiting for your setup, you had it here, right? You had that set up perfectly here, and God knows how many other times today, right? We had it here, right? And as the day went on, as the day went bearish, we had it many, many, many times. All right. So if NQ was now to come below this 4 hour, then we would So right now NQ has taken the previous 4 hour high, right? So this was the previous 4 hour, rocketed up. We took the high of the previous 4 hour. I don't like it when if we're going to go bearish. So because we've taken the previous, so if you go into alpha zones, let's just do this. Let me turn off that. Go into your Alpha Zones Pro. Okay. And if you haven't already got your table on, just put your table on. I'll put it in the top right. So we can see, look, right now we're above the 1 hour and above the 4 hour. Sorry, we've taken the previous 1 hour high and the previous 4 hour high. This then has like a 73% probability of them closing above the 4 hour open, which means that this 4 hour is statistically now expecting to close bullish and above. So although we're expecting, okay, we're not quite ready yet for our push on up, we're also then not expecting price to completely go in the other direction. So everything is more bullish. We are not looking to short, right? When everything goes bearish, we can look to short. How do I know these stats? Because I built the data to collect, right? I've just put it inside the indicator for you, and then I share the stats with everybody. But it is called return to open. There's another indicator as well. There is another one I built for specifically 4 hours. My date is wrong. Date is wrong. So you can see here, look, when we take the high of the previous hour, there's a 76% probability of that closing bullish, and 65%. Now, when you increase those statistics and you go up time frames, you can see they pretty much hold. And I have built an indicator that can go through any time frame. I went on the weekly, the 4 hours. Other than when New York opens and there's high volatility, this stat is a stat that is transferable across all time frames. So there's kind of like, there's only a few stats that I tend to kind of use. This being one, which I obviously built into the indicator, right? So you just need to work with sort of an average of, it's more probable of that time frame than closing bullish or bearish. Doesn't mean that it has to, because obviously nothing's 100%. It's just, you know, odds are currently against you. That doesn't mean then if we come down and we get bearish and everything aligns that you don't take the trade. It's just, you know, you're certainly waiting to be for a lot more confirmation, right? And right now, you're not even thinking about bearish. You're just thinking about waiting for price to have a little bit of a reset, and looks like we'll carry on bullish, right? Or we need to wait for this 1 hour to be over, or this 4 hour to be over, and then it might then switch bearish. But you can go on, obviously, you know, we look at ES, we'll get the same thing on ES, right? Right, so ES is taking the 1 hour high, it's taking the weekly high, we're still neutral on the daily, etc., right? CL. So we can see our daily is currently bullish because we took the previous day high. Weekly's neutral. 4 hours neutral. We haven't taken a high or low yet. 1 hour's neutral. The reason why it's red is because the previous 1 hour took the low of the previous 1 hour, which means we're more likely to be in a downtrend, right? So yeah, right now we're expecting CL to close above the daily. Okay, let's go back to Enki. So I look for that stat in my head, like when I'm on the chart, I look at the alpha zone. There's the 4 hour, right? So where's the previous, look left, where's the previous high of the 4 hour? Well, it's just here. So immediately we've already taken the 4 hour high, right? So when I just look at my alpha zones and say, where are we compared to the previous alpha zone? Did we go above, below? And then that stat's in my head. Another cool stat is the longer it makes it's just kind of makes sense, right? The longer that price closes above the hourly open or the 4-hour open, the higher probability of that hour of that closing bullish. So if the first 20 minutes of an hour close above the open, it's something like a 70% probability the hour will be bullish. And then obviously you've got your 20-minute stat closing above the 50% point. Another one I'll occasionally use is 9:30 till 10:30, right? So statistically, there's like an 80% probability now that this high will go as well, right? So it's called IB, which is from 9:30 till 10:30. And again, 50%, if you close above the 50%, you have a higher probability of taking the high, and if you close below, can be useful at times. I don't rest on it, right? $10 a.m. has been like this. How many times have we had the first hour of 10 a.m. open and it just goes sideways? And it's been like this for a while now. 10 a.m. is pretty solid, but it's just going through a period of being really boring. Really fucking boring. So let's have a look at Bitcoin. Below the 1 hour, below the 4 hour, below the weekly. But, we've had a step up, so as much as we are getting bearish volume on the 5 minute, you can see we've had a big push come above. So if we're going to go bullish on Bitcoin, then we really want to see a this is the hourly chart, right? So we could see Bitcoin close back above, give a bullish golden candle, and then potentially can give us some upside. But you can see that on the 1 hour. Look at these. Perfect. Exactly what we look for, right? Bang. Bang. Been beautiful. Like I said, you trade on anything. We go on stocks. We haven't yet confirmed anything to say that we should go up on Bitcoin. Said if we confirm a bullish golden candle on Bitcoin on the 1 hour, then again that could be a positive to an upside. Right now we're bearish. Looking good for a potential continuation. It's a shame that we didn't get a bearish confirmation here, but it's looking good. Yeah, so from Bitcoin's point of view, right? Talking about from a day trading point of view, you can see here this is perfect. Look at the bearish volume on the 5 minute, right? So we've got our 1 hour. Here's our 1 hour, right? So no bearish volume kicks in. You get a sell signal here, and that trade plays out. We come back up, retest, and then look, you get a bearish golden candle, 5 minutes bearish, and 1 minute. Look at the strength on the 1 minute. Look at that. Bang. Back under. And you get that beautiful move. You can see that we come close to that previous fall, but straight through all targets. Probably about 2R on that trade. And then look, we reverse. Bullish golden candle. Straight through the highs. So right now, right, you can see we don't have anything yet to align to give us a trade bearish. Although we have come below the 4 hour and below the 1 hour, we're not in that same position, right? And the 5 is only just starting to see that bearish volume kick in, right? From my point of view, you can see the 1 minute's now going bullish. The way that we've done this is I would expect this to now come above. That doesn't mean the higher time frame. Like I said, you have to go. What you want to see on the higher time frame is the 1 minute confirm long, right? So you want to see a 1 hour bullish golden candle, right? And then we want to see price above the 50 and then pushing back on up. I will go into the swing trading strategy at another time. But I think you can kind of guess. It's very similar to what you already do. Looking very bearish, but again, that's just from a looking very bearish rather than we are bearish. Right now, you can see it to sit on your hands. Orange, orange, orange. 1 hour's green. Orange, orange. So it means that we might need to see a couple more 1 hours open, and then price might give us that continuation. But it certainly isn't going to give us a trade anytime soon. ES is a little bit better. We're a little bit unknown. Don't worry about it. But, you know, I think kind of, if I was to give you one feedback from what most of us see in the Discord, what most of us find is just wait for those A+ setups. Just wait. Wait for those A+ setups. Because you'll kick yourself, because you'll take a trade and then you'll lose, and then 15 minutes later the A+ setup's there, you take it and you're like, fuck's sake, if I'd have just waited. Or, you know, the high probability setups, right? Not always exactly A+, but, you know, as much as you can align in. So ES is much further away from its 4 hour. So again, this buy signal, this is why I tell everybody you play the stop order. If you'd have taken this, you're out immediately. If you had your stop order, you're not even in, right? Play the stop order. All right. So 5 minute bearish volume. At what point are we going to short? Really simple. When everything aligns. That's it. When everything aligns and we're not shorting into something, right? If we're under the 4 hour, under that level, we've got bearish volume on the 1, the 5, the 15 ideally. Everything's pointing down. We've got a bearish golden candle. We've got a bearish buy signal. If everything's aligned in that way, we can take that trade. But we just need to be aware it is not an A+ because we're shorting into the Q, into the daily. We're not with the daily and we're not with the Q. So take your base hits. Right, here's our Q. So we can see, look, our Q's been bullish. we're now shorting back into previous day. So we'll see. Right, I think rather than sit around and wait, right? What does the table show at the top? This. Yeah, this is your your traffic light system. So it simplifies the process in what you're looking for. So they show different things, right? So price action is different. Okay. So this includes multiple confluences, right? So this is just giving you where you currently sit, right? So the 1 minute, the 5 and the 15 are pre-reading this down here for you, okay? So it's just letting you know that right now the 5 minute currently isn't bullish, currently isn't bearish. It's not bullish or bearish. It's not tradable. We're not wanting to trade it yet. We don't have a positive signal to say yes. And right now it's currently trending down. So the 5 minutes trending down. Our 1 minute is trending down, but same thing again. Our 1 minute's not quite. We haven't got bearish volume in lines yet for us, right? So our lines, price action. We're bearish on our signal, but our trend is bullish, right? So even price action only has one aligned. And as we step up, you can see, look, the daily, the 4 hour, the hourly, the 15 minute have been stepping up as expected. So if I show you this, if you look at this table now, okay, green, 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 okay. Do you want to trade with that? Yes, absolutely. Right now, we are in not the same position. It doesn't mean it won't go down. It just means it's just not aligning yet for us, right? We don't have that high confluence yet. It might mean that price can take a little bit more time, right? Before it actually does go bearish. If it is, it might just mess around a bit more before we get that strong move. Yes, the table will work. The table does work in replay, yeah. Let me just double check my head. Think so. I'm pretty sure the table, everything aligns in the daily. Anyway, there is an update coming when T is back next week. So even from a replay point of view, I wouldn't. I'd just wait until we get that update out, because there's a couple of things in there that we're going to try and change. And this is all about replay, because right now it's perfect. Okay, it's absolutely perfect for live price. It's just replay that's the issue. Correct. Yes, you can just use the table. That's why we created it, right? If you want to have a cleaner chart, then fine. There you go. Just have this on. So obviously we're going to have a next update. We'll have an option to hide the risk calculator. We're going to have a custom option for the coloring, so you haven't just got dark and light. And again, what I don't want to do is I don't want to impact on live price, the quality of live price, for the sake of replay. So I've got a couple of ideas that I already think will fix it, but I'll just wait for T to come back before we... I like us to be clearly understood of what we've done, what we've implemented. So just waiting for him to come back on holiday before we do that. Yeah. We'll see. The issue is so what we're doing at the moment is we are, so rather than, how can I explain? So when you're using lower time frames to go to the higher time frame, often the signal will be off, right? It'll be close, but it'll be off. So what we are doing in live price is going up to the higher time frame and looking at price on the higher time frame to give us the signal. In replay, doesn't like it anywhere near as much, and it can cause issues, which is what's happening. So, yeah. It's one of the problems. But I understand the, the want and the need to be able to use replay, build up your confidence, and then follow that through in live price. So that's why I'm really pushing to try and get both as positive as possible for you. Right now, live price is absolutely fucking banging. The signals are amazing, right? Signals are amazing. You see, I take the signals. I don't have an indicator with buy and sell signals that I don't take, right? I take these trades. You've seen it many, many times. As long as everything aligns, right? I don't take every single one of them, but as long as I'm happy with what I'm seeing, then I'm taking that trade, right? So here's CL flying back out that daily. So we can see, look, we've got one price action, 5 minute, 1 minute aligned, right? We are now aligning all three. So we can expect a potential buy signal soon, right? About a bullish golden candle. Hopefully, we can see CL go bullish. Now, remember, I was talking about how CL, look, we've held this. We've taken the previous day high that we would expect CL to go bullish. Have just swept this high. What would be nice is to get a little bit of a retracement and then a bit of a continuation, but yeah. Five's just stepping, but we can see, look, volume's increasing as we step. We stepped up, volume increased. We stepped down, very little bearish volume. We step back up, volume increases. So it is going in the right direction. If we look at the 1 hour, oh my God, if we could get a 1 hour confirmation, that is a beautiful little U-shaped reversal out of a bullish trend, isn't it? Is that what we love to see? Yes. Do we get that confirmation switch in trend on the 1 hour? CL could be beautiful. Beautiful. Hello. Right now, I don't see anything great other than our 1 hour's been pretty bullish, right? You can see how we've exploded up in our 1 hour. And yeah, right now could continue on to take the previous 1 hour out, but things are just looking a little bit slow. We're holding that 4 hour, but I think look at the 5 minute volume now coming back above. It's going to be a bit of messy price. CL having a little bit of a correction and giving a bullish golden candle could be really, really nice. ES is a little better. Let's see. But I think for today, just the one trade off of this golden candle. It's a shame this was just into those highs. Otherwise, we could have had this one and then the continuation. But this was a beautiful trade. Look, when everything aligned, right? So everything's aligned. We had that nice run up. Look, and now look. We've just gone into this consolidation. We are not yet in an option to take a trade, right? It's keeping you out of this. Well, statistically, we should go for the highs, bud. Right. IB. Initial balance closed above the 50%, so highs are high probable for that, right? 1 hour's looking really bullish. We've had a new 1 hour. Trend in the 1 hour's bullish. You can see things are looking much cleaner now, right? So price action, 1 minute stepping up, 5 minutes starting to step up, 1 hour stepping up. Obviously, we just don't have bullish volume on the 5 minute. I don't like this on the 5 minute, right? With this coming over the top of it. Sometimes we can have that breakdown. But there is room for us to come for those highs before that. Not sure that we'll get bullish volume on the 5 minute in time. Exactly. Exactly. $15 still so bullish. 30-minute bullish volume on the 30-minute. 1 hour. Nice bullish volume on the 1 hour, all stepping up. So everything's looking upwards on that side of it. 4 hour. 4 hour is just getting above that average, but we are starting to see bullish, stepping towards the bullish side. So it's looking good on that side of it. And the daily is been on a nice, strong sort of above the average bullish trend. So yeah, looking all right. From golden candle point of view, we will wait. Yes, yeah, they're two different things. They're two different things. Completely different calculations. So the other one's more of a longer term trend. What you've got, dynamic TP, it's more of a longer term trend. And on the way that we're using golden candle, we need to be more precise around price reacting at that moment in time, right? So that is why we have that. So when we were looking at taking sort of 50% entries with Lazy Boy, right? We want the overall trend to be bullish for us, right? So for example, we'd want to take a Lazy Boy trade with bullish volume, right? So if we were trading the hourly Lazy Boy, I'd probably want to see at least 15 minute and 15 minute bullish volume, 1 hour bullish volume, right? I'd want to see us in line with the trend, and then take that 50% and go on. So the QQQ isn't important for those other ones. However, the level still represents a fairly important time in the market. So it still can be used as an area for like CL and gold, but for Q, ES, and YM, the ETF is definitely more important, right? And the way that the way we like to use these things is about alignment, right? So is the daily, is the Q aligned? And very often you'll hear me say is that when we can get them aligned, we can often have some really nice bullish price action. But where we get, for example, like the Q opens up here, the daily opens here, you end up a lot of the time just with a range, and price can range in between. So we like it when the Q and the daily open next to each other, right? So you get your Q and then you get your daily. And all it means is that it doesn't take much for price to be above and then we're both aligned, or below and both aligned. So normally when they are stretched apart, you end up more with a range. And when they are close together, you can end up more with an expansion day. Okay? All right, 1 minute bullish volume kicking back in. Looks like we're going to go for these highs. Still got room for the 5 minute to come up. See the average line coming down, but it's staying quite heavy on the volume, so it could be a grab. But for me, how did everyone find the lives? I mean, obviously I haven't done a live on YouTube for a while. Obviously we've got the private lives that we do twice a week. Is this something that we should do more of? I can look at doing London as well, a couple of times a week. Maybe we can do London if that's if people would like to see earlier trading, right? Not just New York. We could look at putting in a couple of sessions like that. Just let me know. Obviously I am here to support you guys with the indicator. Yeah, all I want to be able to do is, you need to feel it, understand it, so that you can build your confidence in what you're looking at. It's all right for me, right? Okay, it's easy for me to say a lot of this stuff. I built it, right? So it's really natural to me what I'm looking at. That for you guys takes a little bit more time. So, really these lives are about me coming on and being here for you. Spread the word, man. Spread the word. Do you know what the best thing you can do is? You guys go and make money. Go and make money. Go and make money. Go and make money. Yes, I like YouTube as well. The problem I have with YouTube is the recordings. It's just recording the sessions. So the reason why obviously we have Zoom is one, obviously for the private education, but then also for this is not recorded. Sorry, no, it is recorded. It's live on it's on YouTube, so it'll be on. You'll be able to go back and play it. So it's not the recordings. Recordings are easy. So yeah, so we might push more on the lives. It just depends on how many people come on, right? If YouTube was something that was bigger and had a direct impact in more people joining us, then it's something that I would look to do more of and do free and do every day. But it's a big commitment. It takes a lot of time. That's really good news. Keep testing. Keep watching. I mean, Golden Candle's been, sort of 3-4 weeks now? And we've had tough times, we've had tough days, but everybody is still seeing it's pretty consistent that when those things align, it plays out, right? Most of our problems is not the system. We need a system that's easy to spot, easy to trade, makes sense, reliable, repeatable, works across multiple assets and times. So we need to be able to execute it simply, right? That's really, really important, because the hardest part for all of us in trading is the mental side of trading, right? There are so many other aspects as you grow as a trader that keep pushing that mental side. Getting dead close to a payout pushes more pressure on your mental game because you're focusing on that payout, right? And passing challenges and getting close to passing challenges, increasing your size as you grow as a trader pushes your mental game. The easier it is that your system is repeatable and you know exactly what you're looking for, the easier it'll make the mental game. And that's one of the reasons why I was so pushed on trying to make this as easy and as simple as possible for everybody. Right, alpha zones is like your price action. That is keeping you very, very focused on where are you, where could price react, where, it's not indicator led, it is what live right now. So this is really an important aspect of the strategy, right? Because it's you're trading with the market. And very often when you do that, it will keep you on the right side. And then our golden candle is really pushed towards when are we looking to take our entries, how do we take our entries, where do we place our stops, where do we take profits, and then ensuring that volume and the markets are aligned to push price to our target, right? We're combining those two things, and the whole thing is centered around buyers and sellers. An alpha zone is centered around buyers and sellers. When this 1 hour candle opened, sellers stepped in, right? They started to push volume down, okay? Sellers stepped in. They couldn't push it down. Buyers stepped back in again, which means this 1 hour candle, currently buyers are in control. That's what it means. This current 4 hour, sellers have stepped in. They push price right back to the open, where this 4 hour opened. And guess what? Buyers step back in again and push price back up again, right? So right now, this is showing you that the 4 hour buyers are currently beating sellers, okay? Once we break through, then we can see, all right, sellers are starting to win this. At some point, I will be able to visualize that for you, okay? But right now, there are limitations on TradingView to be able to do that. But I mean, in a slight way, you can see it with your footprint charts, right? So look here, look at the buyers stepped in here just before our hour. We can see, look on this opening candle, huge buying candle with divergence, more buyers than sellers. So we have a divergence, right? But we can see obviously as price comes back to those areas where it's reacting from, where the buyers have been, right? At some point, we will visualize that for you. Right, everybody. As expected, our 5 minute is putting up a bit of a resistance. It's not yet ready to go bullish. So it's just going to hang about a little bit longer. You could see here, look, when we were... I'll show you why I was like this. Look at the volume. Right? So even though we've been pushing up, we haven't really been pushing up in our volume. Right? You can see here, I suppose this is the steeping of the histogram that was being talked about in the chat, right? Is that you can see that it's stepping down, like bullish volume is kicking back in, it's pushing it back up. As we're here, you can see it's not, only slightly. We're about to get a potential where sellers are stepping back in again, where price is probably going to have another little pushback down. So what it might be is that we need to correct on the 5 minute. So our 5 minute might just come down like this. And on price, we'll sort of trend like this. And we might even break the 4 hours, but these will be fake hours. With the higher time frame. Right? So you can see here, look how clean this is on the way up. Everything's stepping up, coming up, really clean. This is not, we are not longing with this, okay? Yeah. So I hope that makes sense in terms of what I was looking for. It does, and again, it does not mean price won't go up. It just means for what I am looking for when I take what I like to see when I take a trade, is not currently aligning. Statistically, we are still probable to come for this high. Remember the 9:30, right, till 10:30. So there's our high. Where's 10:30? Here, right? So there's our high. And here's 50%. So you can see that price closed above 50%, which then gives more probable for this high to go. So it's still on the cards. It's just for us to take that trade, it's just not. It's not your A plus, right? It's not. It's not even an A. I don't trade this statistic. If you did, then you would probably be looking to take this for that high, right? Because it's giving you, if you think we're going to go for this high, it's telling you right now, look, we've had a bullish change. We're above the 1 hour, above the 4 hour. If we're going to go for it, you'd expect we're going to go for it now, right? Us, from how we trade golden candle, is just like, okay. It's just not high probable. Doesn't mean it can't, doesn't mean it won't. It's just not what we're looking for. You do not need to trade the footprint chart of golden candle, no. It's been built for that exact reason. You don't even need to worry about it. Simplified as simple as possible. What have you got on your chart? Orange, orange, orange. If you want to go long, you want green, green, green. If you want to go short, you want red, red, red. What have you got now? Indecision? Staying out the market. Okay? Doesn't mean that price won't go to targets. It's just, this is telling you very simply, don't trade. Wait. No worries, buddy. Yeah, I've got to go now as well. I need to go and get my little girl. So, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I will arrange another stream. I think I'm going to do a London one. So I think what I'll do is, rather than do a New York one, I'll book in a London session, and we'll do a YouTube on London. I think that'd be quite interesting to do. I'll probably pick the one time that London just fucking ranges, because I'm great at doing that. But yeah, we'll book it in. Other than that, obviously, in the Discord, jump in, come and ask us. Be great to see anybody there. But other than that, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow.